After the last video, my inbox basically exploded. One question over and over again in about 100 different versions. Toyota has confirmed that a new generation of hybrid batteries is on the way, and everybody wants to know the same thing. Which car gets it first? And actually, before we go any further, let me give you a hint. If you're driving a RAV4 hybrid or the new Camry, you may be a lot closer to getting this technology than Corolla owners, but there's a reason for that, and it's probably not what most people think. So today, I want to slow down and walk through this properly. What has Toyota really announced? Why are they doing this now? What's actually different about this battery? What will you feel behind the wheel? Which models are the real frontrunners? And which ones might be waiting longer than you'd expect? Stick around because near the end, I'll give you my own ranking, my own confidence levels, model by model. Let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. Because there's a lot of noise online right now, and honestly, a lot of it is just guessing dressed up as news. What Toyota has officially confirmed is this. A next-generation hybrid battery is in development, aimed at improving energy density and overall efficiency across their hybrid lineup. That's the confirmed part. Now, separately, Toyota has also been talking, for years actually, about solid-state battery research. That's a completely different technology, mostly aimed at future EVs, not the hybrids you can buy today. And then you've got improved lithium-ion packs, which is really an evolution of what's already under the hood of your Prius or your RAV4 right now. So when people say Toyota's new battery, they're often mixing three separate stories into one: the near-term hybrid upgrade, the mid-term lithium improvements, and the long-term solid-state dream. For this video, we're focused on the one that actually matters for buyers in the next couple of years. The upgraded hybrid battery. Now that we know what Toyota has officially confirmed, the next question is, why now? Honestly, it's not one single reason. It's a combination of pressures, all landing at the same time. Competition in the hybrid space has gotten intense. Honda, Hyundai, Kia, even Ford are all pushing harder into hybrid technology because, let's be honest, full EV adoption has slowed down more than a lot of manufacturers expected. At the same time, fuel economy regulations keep tightening, so automakers need real efficiency gains, not just marketing claims. And hybrid demand, especially in the US, has genuinely exploded over the last 2 years. People who are on the fence about going full electric are landing on hybrids instead, because it just makes more sense for their lifestyle. So Toyota is sitting on this huge wave of demand, and customers are expecting more. Better range in EV mode, better efficiency, smoother power delivery. Toyota isn't replacing a bad battery here. Let's be clear about that. They're trying to build an even better hybrid system, on top of something that already works incredibly well. So what's actually new about this battery, technically speaking? I'll keep it simple. No engineering degree required. Toyota wants the battery to store more energy, without making the car any bigger. That alone opens the door to longer stretches of electric-only driving. But that isn't actually the biggest improvement. The real story is how much faster the battery can accept energy while you're braking or coasting. So more of that wasted energy gets captured and stored, instead of just disappearing as heat. Then there's the weight. Lighter in this case, without shrinking the capacity, and weight is one of the biggest enemies of efficiency in any vehicle. There's also better thermal management, meaning the battery handles heat more effectively, which matters a lot for long-term durability, especially if you live somewhere hot. And potentially lower manufacturing costs, which, if Toyota passes any of that savings along, could actually help keep hybrid prices from climbing too much. None of this is science fiction, by the way. It's a fairly natural evolution of lithium-ion technology that Toyota already knows extremely well. Now, all of that is nice on paper. But what does it actually mean for you, sitting in the driver's seat? Let's translate it into real life. Smoother acceleration, because a more responsive battery delivers power more consistently. Longer EV-only driving moments, so more of your daily commute happening on electric power alone, especially in stop-and-go traffic. Better fuel economy, depending on the model, could mean a real bump in your MPG numbers. Quieter operation, since more time in electric mode means less time listening to the gas engine kick in. Better cold weather performance, and if you live somewhere that actually gets winter, this is a genuinely big deal. Current hybrid batteries lose some efficiency once temperatures drop, and better long-term battery longevity, meaning the pack should degrade more slowly over the years you own the car. This isn't just spec sheet stuff. This is the part that actually changes how the car feels to live with every single day. Okay, now for the part everybody's really here for. Which Toyota models are most likely to get this new battery first? Let's start with the obvious one. The Prius. If any Toyota deserves the newest hybrid technology first, it's arguably the car that invented modern hybrids in the first place. There's a strong brand argument here. Toyota wants its Halo hybrid showing off the newest tech. Then there's the Camry, now hybrid only in the US market, which means it's an enormous volume seller, and Toyota has every incentive to put its best hybrid tech into the car that sells in the highest numbers. Next, the RAV4 hybrid. Arguably the most important vehicle in Toyota's entire hybrid strategy right now, because it's their best-selling model overall, hybrid or not. Improving it directly moves the needle on the bottom line. Then the Corolla hybrid, a strong candidate too, especially because it's a global platform, meaning updates here can be shared efficiently across markets. The Crown, being more premium and tech-forward, makes sense as an early adopter as well. Flagship-style vehicles are often used to introduce new technology before it trickles down. And finally, the Highlander hybrid, a high-volume family SUV where efficiency gains would genuinely matter to a lot of owners. For each of these, the logic is roughly the same. High sales volume, strategic importance, or brand visibility. That's what usually decides who gets new tech first at Toyota. But here's something interesting. The first cars to receive this battery may not actually be the ones that benefit from it the most. Think about it. The vehicles Toyota prioritizes are the highest volume sellers, the ones that move the most units, not necessarily the ones where a bigger battery would make the biggest real-world difference. A Prius owner might barely notice the upgrade, because the car was already extremely efficient to begin with. But a Highlander hybrid, a heavier vehicle, hauling around more weight, more people, more cargo, could actually see a much bigger jump in real-world efficiency. It just might not get there first. That's the trade-off Toyota is making. Volume over impact, at least in the early rollout. Now here's the part people sometimes forget. Not every model is getting this battery on day one, and there are real reasons for that. Production capacity is the biggest one. Rolling out a new battery chemistry across an entire lineup all at once is logistically almost impossible. Battery supply itself is another constraint, since Toyota, like every automaker right now, is dealing with limited global battery manufacturing capacity. Then there's the manufacturing plants themselves. Some factories are simply better equipped right now to build with the new components than others. Regional priorities matter too. Markets like the US, where hybrid demand is currently the strongest, are likely to see faster rollout than markets where demand is more modest and straightforward demand. Toyota is going to prioritize the vehicles people are actually buying in huge numbers over slower selling models. So if your favorite Toyota isn't on that first wave list, it's not because Toyota doesn't care about it. It's just business logic. Highest volume, highest visibility almost always goes first. So does this make Toyota hybrids even harder to beat? Let's compare fairly. No fanboy hat on here. Honda has made real strides with its hybrid system, and in some efficiency tests, they're genuinely competitive with Toyota. Hyundai and Kia have pushed hard into hybrids too, often undercutting on price while offering strong feature sets. Ford has its own hybrid heritage, particularly with the Maverick and the Escape, and shouldn't be underestimated. But here's where Toyota still tends to separate itself. Reliability track record, built over literally decades of hybrid production. Ownership cost, since Toyota hybrids are famous for low long-term maintenance needs. And resale value characteristic, where Toyota consistently outperforms almost everyone in the industry. Now that part is factual, based on long-term data. My opinion, and I want to be clear this is opinion, is that if this new battery delivers even a modest efficiency bump, it widens Toyota's lead, rather than closing the gap with competitors, simply because they're improving from an already strong baseline. Let's talk timeline, because this is where people get the most impatient. Realistically, I'd break this into 3 phases. Short term, meaning the next model year refreshes. Expect early rollout in the highest priority vehicles we just talked about, likely starting within the next 1 to 2 model years. Medium term, meaning the next full generational redesigns. This is where you'd expect the battery to become standard across most of the hybrid lineup, roughly a 3 to 5 year window. And long term, we're talking about the eventual shift towards solid state technology, which is still likely 5+ years out. Toyota has been famously cautious here. They've said publicly they want the technology fully validated before it reaches consumers. No rushing, no cutting corners. Now let's hit some of the biggest questions people keep asking me. Will existing owners get this battery? No. This isn't a retrofit situation. If you already own a hybrid, this is for future model years, not something added to your current car. Will it increase prices? Possibly a little. New technology usually comes with some cost, but Toyota has hinted the manufacturing process could actually become more efficient, which might help offset that. Will maintenance change? Not significantly. Hybrid maintenance has always been relatively low, and there's no strong indication that changes here. Will reliability stay the same? Based on Toyota's track record with battery development, there's good reason for optimism. Though obviously any brand new component needs real-world time to prove itself. Is this replacing the solid-state plan? No. This is a separate, nearer-term improvement. Solid-state remains the long-term destination. This new battery is really a bridge, not a final stop. Alright, here's my actual prediction, based on everything we've covered. Think of this as a confidence meter. Very likely, possible, and long shot for now. Very likely, around 90% confidence, the Ray V4 Hybrid and the Camry, simply because of sheer sales volume and strategic priority. Likely, around 75%, the Prius for brand visibility, and the Corolla Hybrid, thanks to its global platform reach. Possible, closer to 50%, the Crown. It fits Toyota's pattern of debuting tech in premium models, though it sells in much smaller numbers. And a long shot for now, maybe 20%, the Highlander Hybrid. Not because it's unimportant, but because larger SUV platforms often see updates a bit later in Toyota's rollout cycle. So my personal ranking looks like this. 1. RAV4 Hybrid. 2. Camry. 3. Prius. 4. Corolla Hybrid. 5. Crown. 6. Highlander. And I want to be really clear. This is my interpretation based on publicly available information and Toyota's historical rollout patterns, not confirmed information from Toyota itself. So let's bring this all together. Toyota doesn't need to reinvent the hybrid. They just need to make the world's best hybrid even better. This new battery is about squeezing more efficiency, more electric-only driving, and better real-world performance out of a formula that's already proven. The first rollout will almost certainly target Toyota's highest volume hybrid models, the ones that move the needle most for the company. Not every Toyota is getting this immediately, and that's simply a matter of production reality, not a lack of ambition. And honestly, I'd expect more official announcements over the coming months as Toyota firms up their plans. Because at this point, the real race isn't EV versus hybrid anymore. It's about who builds the smartest hybrid. Let me know down in the comments which Toyota model you're most excited to see get this upgrade, and whether you'd personally wait for the new battery or just go ahead and buy today's hybrid. If this breakdown helped make sense of everything, do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next one.